Dark some night and shining moon, balance of the dark and light. Hearken ye, O witches, rune, as we perform our sacred rite. By earth and water, air and fire, by blade and bow and circle round, we come to you with our desire. Let all that is hidden now be found. With censer, candle, book and sword, and ringing of the altar bell, we tie a knot within our cord to bind our magic in a spell. Mother of the summer fields, goddess of the silver moon, join with us as power builds, dance with us our witches rune. Father of the summer dew, hunter of the winter snows, with open arms we welcome you, dance with us as power grows. Dance with us our witches rune. Dance with us our witches rune. Dance with us our witches rune. Mother of the summer fields, goddess of the silver moon, join with us as power builds, dance with us our witches rune. Father of the summer dew, hunter of the winter snows, with open arms we welcome you, dance with us as power grows. Dance with us as
I've been kind of getting in trouble for using that song. Hello, y'all. Happy Witching Hour. It is High Priestess Jamila. How are y'all? Um, so Aphrodite, goddess of Venus, one of the goddesses of Venus, wanted me to come and speak to y'all about the best way to heal from trauma, in particular sexual trauma. And I have to admit that I don't have any sexual trauma. I don't. But I know about healing, and I work professionally as a spiritual healer. And so just to start off with just to tell you guys about my witching hour, Aphrodite had me make a oil, and I put that video up on TikTok, on my TikTok. And so I made the oil because I had been doing a lot of physical exertion, had gotten a little dehydrated a little bit, and was just having pain. But it wasn't just pain like from that because I'm pretty like I'm kind of in good shape, you know. I could stand to gain about maybe 7 pounds, but I'm in pretty good physical shape. Um, but I'm healing somebody right now. My husband, I'm healing him from some stuff. And so when you are that close to somebody, it manifests within you. It does. And then also there was some things that I needed to purge. So um I gave myself a good rub down with that oil and used my heating pad and stuff. But then spirit led me to do reflexology on my feet. And just like that, pain gone where I was having it. So if you guys don't know about reflexology, you should try it. It works. Foot rubs are foot reflexology, pressure pointing is extremely powerful. It is. So, and so I did that. And of course, y'all know I'm always thinking, meditating, communing with spirit. I've been working with Aphrodite a lot lately for healing and other stuff. And so I had a good cry because it's hard being a healer and dealing with other people's pain. It's hard. But we're going to start making it easier. So I thank Aphrodite and my spirit guides for that. Um, the best way to get over trauma, the best way to heal from trauma, in particular, any kind of sexual trauma. Like I said, I didn't really go through any kind of sexual trauma until I was in my 40s. So it was something that still affected me, but I know how to deal with it so that it doesn't continuously affect my life. And a lot of people out there that have sexual trauma, they are able to deal with it, remember it, deal with it, and move on. But there's a lot of people that have issues with it, and that's understandable. Your capacity for healing and at the rate that you heal is going to be unique to your needs. Okay. And so, what I was told, and I agree with this, especially if it is horrific trauma, horrific. Okay. And I guess trauma can be from many different sources. Trauma could be a car accident, trauma can be some kind of physical attack. Okay. So, the reason why you continuously go through cycles of that pain is because not only is, of course, your mind is remembering it, but the body is going to hold on to it and even your spirit. So when you have something like that going on, something extremely traumatic, the best way to heal from it, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, what is she talking about? Because, I'm not one that wants to capitalize off of people's pain, and I don't. I do, however, I've got a couple of clients that have been going through cycles, and it's time for it's time to move forward. It is, because something as complex as trauma from your childhood or anywhere in your life, when you have thoughts of it, and when your mind and your body and your spirit remembers it, this is when you're opening up the doorways and the gateways for that energy, for that evil to continuously destroy your life and your happiness. So basically, what my spirit guides are suggesting is that you forget about it. The more horrific the trauma and abuse was, the more there should be a focus on forgetting about it mentally in your mind, and the body and the spirit is going to follow. Okay? Now, a lot of people that may be watching this probably are thinking, how? How do you forget? In fact, there has been people who have went through things to where they will put themselves in situations that remind them of that trauma and abuse all the time. And for some reason, they believe that this is healing, and it's not. There are some things that are worth remembering, and there are some things that are worth not remembering. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, it's wrong, especially sexual abuse, any kind of sexual abuse. Of course, it's wrong. Okay. Obviously, if you had a family member or a parent that traumatized you with something like that, that's horrific. I couldn't even imagine going through that. I didn't come from that. There are a lot of people that came from a very physically, financially, or sexually dysfunctional family and household. And, we're talking about your parents, your parental figures, how they raised you. Okay. Or it could be certain things that could have happened throughout your life. The best way to deal with it is to forget about it. It's not to put it into the forefront of your memory and to always be thinking about it. In fact, I believe that it really takes, um, speaking of which, that's how I got over anxiety, was just forgetting about it, because I had really bad anxiety to the point where I could just sit there and wait for an anxiety attack to come on. So how I beat it was by, number one, not fearing a panic attack, and number two, just forgetting about it, forgetting about anxiety, period. And somehow that was actually prior to me starting practicing. Somehow it worked, just forgetting about it. Okay. So, I mean, unless you are going to pursue some kind of charges in a courtroom against anyone that has done anything to you, it's not worth it. And a lot of the people that we love and we care about are lost because of that. And we don't want to just say, let's wait till next lifetime. Mm-mm. Because that same trauma, you're going to come into the next lifetime with it. So you can't just do that. What is the best way to heal from sexual trauma, from violence, from any kind of trauma? Is to forget about it, especially if you've dealt with it for years and that memory does nothing but hurt you mentally, physically, psychologically, spiritually. All it does is hurt you. All it does is hurt the people around you. All it does is keep you in a constant cycle of pain, whatever it was. Okay. Also, another thing that can be achieved with healing work, spell work, healing of the brain, healing of the body, healing of the spirit, but removing yourself from situations where you have to think about it, where you have to actually go over that over and over and over again in your mind. I mean, you may be able to revisit that topic maybe 5 or 10 years later, but for now, you have to forget. You have to give yourself time to get yourself together. It's not worth it. It isn't. Especially if you're having a hard time. Like I said, there are some people, they have went through horrific abuse, horrific physical, sexual, mental, um and they're just okay with it. They're just, they're just like, and but there are a lot of you that you're not okay, and you've been carrying that baggage with you for your whole life, and you can't have normal relationships, normal friendships. You're sick and you're hurting all the time because of something that happened to you. And I'm not just talking about child molestation, I'm talking about any type of sexual trauma, any type of trauma, any type of traumatic experience that was meant to be traumatic by design, right? Because people that are traumatized, they have a tendency to traumatize others. So that's why they want to put you through the trauma. Okay. Forgetting about it is the best thing for you to do. If it's affected you to the point where you can't live the life that you want, to the point where you have these things manifesting, because basically the way that your memory works is, I forget what area of the brain specifically works with memory, but when you have that memory on your mind all the time, and even though you may not be thinking about it a lot, pretty much what happens is that everything that you are manifesting could be based upon that memory. So then that could actually block you from manifesting anything. It don't even have to be witchcraft. A lot of people, when they think about manifestation, they want to always think about witchcraft. Not all the time. I mean, you can be any religion, you can be of any faith, and you have to manifest something on a daily basis. Nobody is just sitting in a dark room and they, otherwise you'd starve to death and you'd be homeless. So everybody has to manifest something. Everybody. And if you're manifesting Everything that you're manifesting is hurting you, or if or if you're not manifesting to the point where you can't survive, you may want to look at the trauma and say, is this trauma stopping me from manifesting? And you'd be shocked to know that it does, because it's at the forefront of the mind. It takes center stage, especially when you may be expecting the person that did that to you to make good on it. Well, what if they never do? What if they never do right by you? What if they always are just the way that they are? You can't change them. You can only change your reaction to what they did. So, constantly being in situations, constantly listening to things, or being around people that remind you of that trauma is not going to be the best thing for you. That's not going to put you on the path of healing. Trauma is not about your weakness. The things that people put you through, they may have abused their power, over you. And so you're not traumatized because it's your fault. You're not traumatized because you were weak. That has nothing to do with it. It's the only thing that you have to think about is you and the trauma that happened, right? So you don't have to continuously face it. If you faced it more than once, then you faced it, and now it's time to move past it. So you're not just this person that constantly has to face this thing every single day. By doing that, you're actually taking on the responsibility of the person that traumatized you. You're actually taking on their role. You don't have to face that every single day. You don't necessarily, I mean, that doesn't make you strong just because you're thinking about it every day and you're dealing with it and you're getting angry and you're going through this constant scenario of this and that. No, you just need to heal. That's it. And a part of the healing is going to be forgetting about it. Now, it's a little bit more complex than what I'm saying because I'm not telling you necessarily to forget about it, right? This is where it gets a little confusing. Forgetting about how it affected you, forgetting about how it felt, connecting yourself constantly to the emotions, the pain, the suffering that you went through. So you can still know it. It doesn't once, and it's not about emotionally disconnecting. No, you don't emotionally disconnect to the people around you that love you. No. What you do is you emotionally disconnect from that situation, that trauma. That is something that I'm not sure if therapists have, made any treadway with that, but I can tell you that it can be done with spell work. I can tell you that it can be done with work on the mind. Okay, because I do a lot of mind healing work for clients. Okay, there's certain areas of the brain that are not only remembering the trauma, but it is also playing out that trauma over and over again. And this is what's opening up the gateways and the doorways of your mind to continuously live within that trauma and not within the reality that you want to live in. So I'm not saying forget about it, let it go, let those people get away with it. No, they haven't gotten away with it. Trust me. Anybody that Nobody's just getting away with anything, okay? Right? So they're not getting away with it. Trust me, they're more than likely suffering for what they did to you. Seriously suffering. But so you don't even have to worry about that. What you need to worry about is getting yourself to a place where it is not affecting your mind and your body and your spirit to the point where you it's just it I'm not saying act like it didn't happen because abusers use that tactic. So that's not how I'm coming at y'all. No. No, I'm not, because it's different, right? Because an abuser is telling you to not acknowledge the abuse at all. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you, yes, we're acknowledging it. Yes. Now it's time to forget about it. Using that technique will give you your life back. It will give you your life back. Honestly, it will. Of course, along with some possible meditation, spiritual baths, and like I said, reflexology is really good. Um, Especially if you're having like stomach problems from early onset trauma. Um, a lot of our inner child we hold in our stomach and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think I was even dealing with some stuff that I don't even remember because you know what, guys? I've had bad things happen to me and I tend to forget about it. The things that I notice that the things that I hold on to the memory of affect me. I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds unorthodox. Are you going to live your life? Or are you going to try to be happy? Once you do that, it's like that's a true new beginning, a restart of life. You're not going to forget about the things and the people that you love. No. What you're going to forget about is that particular thing that traumatized you. Then you'll notice that the body will start to heal. Your spirit will start to heal. You start to manifest. So I know it sounds weird. It's not that you're going to be in denial. It's not about being in denial. It's about saying, you know what? I take my fucking mind back. I take my mind back. I free my mind of this thing that has been plaguing me for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, some of y'all 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I take my mind back because that's originally where my creativity comes from. Okay. And the sacral chakra, of course. But your mind is where your creativity uh, comes from. Okay. So when you do that, you're taking that back. You're taking back who you are. You're truly reclaiming yourself and you're saying, you know what? I'm acknowledging that that happened. Yep. But you know what? What good is it going to do me? It's not doing me any good. It's not doing me any good to remember it. It's not doing me any good to constantly go through the motions and the emotions of it. It's not doing me any good. And then also it could possibly, depending on what type of trauma it is, it could possibly be affecting your physical health, causing certain pains, aches, physical ailments. And then also it could be affecting your mental health. Okay. So, in my opinion, especially if it's something that happened to you as a small child that you couldn't help, or I mean, even as an adult, I mean, hell, I've been through trauma as an adult. Nobody just doesn't go through trauma just because they're an adult. I've been through traumatic experiences as an adult. You know what I'm saying? And for me, the best way is to forget about it. Like, oh, I didn't even remember that. That way you are truly reclaiming your power. You're taking your power back at that point. Because you're saying, oh, and so the person that may have traumatized you, they may want to remind you over and over and over again that they did what they did to traumatize you. Why would you need to be present and there for it? You don't have to be there for that. You don't have to be there for that. You don't have to constantly hear that person remind you of that of how they're trying to traumatize you. So sometimes you have to and I think that it's the same principle when it comes to alcoholism and families. You know how they say that alcoholism is a family disease, right? And that is because what families tend to do is they tend to keep the trauma memories alive. I've noticed that a lot of families do that. And that to me is dysfunctional because what good does it do? And then especially when you haven't gotten the chance to sit and be quiet with it. You have not gotten the opportunity to spend any time outside of any energy except for that. That's it. That's the only thing you've done. You have never stopped thinking about it. It's always been something that, depending on what happened, you either dream about it. The reason why you dream about it is because of your memories. The reason why you think about it is because of your memory. And like I said, it depends on the level of the person, right? A lot of people truly can't handle it. They just can't handle it. It's too much for them to deal with when you spend some time away from it. When you go and you say, you know what? I'm going to take some time to get away from that. Let me get about 3 years of just a break. Let your mind have a rest. It's almost like putting yourself in a coma almost, but you're not in a coma. You know what I'm saying? You know how like doctors will they will medically induce a coma, like in people that have been in horrific accidents. Same difference. Like for like go and heal yourself, give yourself some time, and if you feel the need to revisit that subject years later, then revisit it. Otherwise, for now, and don't just be in denial about it. No, I'm talking about actually working with a healer. I'm not talking about just saying, up, I'm just going to forget about it. I'm not going to think about it. It just doesn't exist. No, I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying to actually work with a healer, either me or someone like me, that can actually get in your head and get rid of that stuff so that you can go, you know what? I woke up today and I thought about a project that I'd like to do. Or because I didn't have that on my mind constantly, I started to manifest something. Okay. So, and then also depending on where the trauma is located, then of course the body is remembering it. Your body is remembering the trauma. Okay. Um, the moment that your body doesn't remember the trauma, the pain goes away. The moment that you literally remove that from your consciousness to where you get a break. Your mind gets a break to not think about it. The moment you do that, you're going to be able to, you're going to have room for other things. Things that may give you pleasure, things that will bring happiness to you, things that will bring good things into your life. You know what I mean? Because everybody's response to trauma is different. Okay. Like I was telling one of my daughters, I was like, I have a very high pain threshold. And I think it's because I'm a healer. So my tolerance for things is a lot higher than other people. You know, I know for a fact that there was probably several things in my childhood that traumatized me. Uh, oh my God, I don't even need to talk about it. I don't even need to talk about it. But from a kid, I would forget about it like very quickly. And that is called resilience. You know how they say kids are really resilient. And, unfortunately, some of us got exposed to some not so savory people, and maybe led us down some not so savory roads in life. You know what I'm saying? And so I know for a fact that I know what I'm talking about because I have this one client, me and her are really close, right? And she's not a client, she's my sister, okay? And y'all know I'm a mind reader, right? I read minds. I can't help it, okay? I know what you're thinking. And so whenever she contacts me, I can always tell that she's thinking about her trauma in her childhood, and she is sometimes angry about it. Sometimes she's seething with rage about her childhood and about things that her parents did to her. I have tried several different spiritual therapies on her. What has been suggested is to remove it from her memory, is what has been suggested. And then that way, the energy, the trauma from it, it's not always popping back up and rearing its ugly head and affecting her and setting her back all the time. And then also that is a way again of reclaiming your power, because if somebody abused me as a child with an intention to fuck me up, right? Like they do have an intention to fuck you up. They want to fuck you up, right? Being able to look at that person in the face and say to them, I don't even I don't even remember what you're talking about. Boop, I'm happy. I'm I'm living life. Ain't it obvious? Ain't it obvious that I'm living life? Outside of that, I don't live my life the way that you tried to traumatize me into living my life at all. I live my life like it's golden. You don't have that power and control over me. You didn't break me. You know what I'm saying? You didn't ruin nothing for me. Everything that I want, I have. You can't stop me from doing that. Okay? Because people that abused you, they yeah, believe it or not, they are sitting there wondering, why haven't I affected this person? Why haven't I completely fucked this person all the way around? Like I should have been made this person off they self or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how evil works sometimes. If it's the furthest thing from your mind, you good. If it's out of your mind, you good, because guess what? All you doing without that trauma on your mind is manifesting. You're manifesting everything that you want. In fact, you're manifesting everything that you need for continued and long-term healing. You're manifesting enough money to where you may want to go and have spa days at the spa. You're manifesting money for whatever it is that you need. You're manifesting the life, you're manifesting the people in your life, you're manifesting that happiness and that connection with people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a great technique. In fact, I've been doing therapies on myself to where I've been forgetting about bad people with foul intention towards me, to take away the weight and the gravity of what those people were trying to do, especially when you have protection in the spiritual community. It can be very traumatizing, because if you're psychic and you can pick up on what people are thinking about you and what they want from you, that can be traumatizing within itself. Hey, can we so basically, trauma in like any kind of spiritual community, or if you are using your spiritual gifts, like, and you can pick up on what people are thinking. You can literally, here, you can make it in this mason jar. Is that good? You can literally pick up on what people are thinking. And the one thing that I can tell y'all is that I could pick up on a lot of thoughts of people thinking really, really, really negative thoughts, desires, people's darkest desires. You know, when you're a mind reader, you can pick up on that stuff. Like, you can hear it. Like, for example, if when I had a grandchild on the way, I could pick up that people wanted the baby to die, and that was really, really traumatizing for me, because, and of course, he didn't die. He's here and he's healthy and he's thriving. Okay. So thank to his father, his mother, his grandma, everybody that love my family. Okay. So, that within itself was very traumatizing, knowing that people didn't want my family to grow. People wanted me and my kids to die. So what? I forgot about it. Only reason why I brought it up right now, I'm going to forget about it. I don't even care. It's the furthest thing from my mind. Yeah, you know what? It's a fact that there are some people that they don't want you here. They want you gone. They don't want you to exist. They can't just move on with their life. They're constantly threatening you, constantly trying to get in your spirit. The moment you forget about those people, they don't have a way in to your mind. So then, again, in retrospect, you're taking back your power and you're protecting yourself from that person or those people. So that's something that I think is going to be important. Like, you do not have to stay wrapped up in spiritual warfare forever. Put up your protection. If your protection truly works, you don't have to stay in that bubble dust of war. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my protection. I'm living life. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over there. I'm living my life. You see what I'm saying? So let me know if that makes sense. I will leave comments open for this particular video if you're watching the playback, because I know it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning and a lot of people are asleep right now. But let me know what you guys think of that. We're not talking about therapy. We're not talking about for purposes of negating the law. We're not talking about that. We're talking about spiritual healing right now, is what we're talking about. How to heal yourself so that you can start manifesting the life that you want. How do you do it? How do you truly do it? Your biggest enemy is your memory that you've been holding on to for the longest. Forget about it. But I think that it does take focused work. It does. It takes focused work. It does. It it's gonna take, you writing it down. It's gonna take a candle. So any of you witches that are watching right now, that are my peeps, try that and see how quickly you'll manifest. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like do you always throw your cards and you get like the death card inverted or the seven of cups or the seven of swords and then you're feeling blocked? Do you feel blocked? A source of your magic being blocked, yeah, hell, even your prayers could be blocked because of trauma. Think about it, especially if you get that seven of swords. But the seven of cups is when you're holding on to things, your heart remembers something that's traumatic, possibly could be blocking it. Uh, you know what I'm saying? So think about that. It may be a great technique. I mean, nobody can afford to, you know how they say in life, the things that we went through, hey, the world's got to keep going. It does. You got to keep going. You can't stop. You have to keep going. And you can't afford to stop every 5 minutes and deal with that. You can't afford that. You got to keep it moving. And then not only can you not afford it financially, physically, you can't afford it because it's tearing and breaking your body down. But it's blocking you from your joy and your happiness. It's blocking you from being able to love and just be happy and fulfilling your life is basically what it's doing to a lot of people. Okay, so anyway, I don't have nobody in the chat right now. Y'all can leave a comment in the comment section. I will go ahead and remember to open up comments on this particular video because I've got comments blocked. But uh yeah, now I will tell you that it ain't just about your trauma. I've had people that have suffered trauma that have tried to hurt me tremendously. I you can't just say, oh, I want to forget about this trauma just so I can manifest, but I'm still gonna attack High Priestess Jamila. No, you got to stop attacking people. You got to stop acting like an attack dog. You do because if you do that, that's a result of it. That means you're still holding on to it. Okay. So let me know what you guys think of that. And I will see y'all later. Okay. Happy Thursday to y'all. Bye. Blessings.